So in this video, we're going to go over the basics of going live on YouTube or Facebook or Twitch or whatever you're broadcasting on with a produced kind of multi-source live video broadcast. Obviously, you can hit go live in Facebook or Instagram and you'll have a live stream with just your phone camera. But if you want to do anything more than that, there's some steps that you'll need to take. The first thing that you're going to need is a computer that has some sort of live broadcasting software installed. I am in vMix right now, which is a live streaming software that I very much like. It's what I use at work. It's what I use personally. I think it's just got a lot of features and it makes a lot of sense for me, but it might not make sense for you. You might like other software better, and OBS is the other one that I recommend a lot. I have it running over in the corner here as well. But for now, this video is going to focus on vMix. The idea, though, with this tutorial is that it doesn't really matter what software that you're using because the core concepts are going to be the same. The way you do things might differ from software to software, but the ideals of it, the thinking behind what you're doing is always going to stay the same. So the first thing that you're going to want to do once you've booted up your software is you're going to want to get your video source in. So in my case, it's just going to be a webcam, just a webcam that's attached to my laptop. So we're going to select the integrated camera. You can choose what resolution you would like. I'm going to keep it at 720p for now. And you just add it. And there I am. You can go ahead and go into the settings for this audio source, or this video source, and you can do lots of things. You can zoom it in or out with the zoom. You can pan it. And what I like to do with this is I like to make it nice and small, and I just like to have it sit in the corner of the stream, like this. And there's lots of other things you can do. You can color correct. You can color key if you have a green screen behind you. You can select that color of green, so you just get the thing that's in front of the green screen, obviously. There's pan, tilt, zoom if you have a camera that has those features enabled. There's lots of different things that you can do with the source once you've added it. Now, I would like to add an audio source. Now, if you have a camera that you're added that has an audio source built in, it'll get added automatically with that. There's also different kinds of cameras that you can add that would have that. You can even use your phone camera, and a lot of people are doing this. There's apps that you can get on the App Store that will send the picture from your phone camera into whatever streaming software you're using and have that as a source. And that's a great way to get a high quality camera picture, assuming you have like a relatively new phone. You'll get a relatively high quality camera picture with no upfront costs. So that's a helpful thing to have. In my case, I would be using like a broadcast camera if I was doing this professionally. And you would need some sort of hardware to actually get that signal from the broadcasting camera into the software. So usually it's like a Blackmagic Ultra Studio mini recorder. If you have an older camera that only does SDI, this is a great thing to have. With HDMI, you can use that same thing, or you can use like an Elgato. There's lots of Elgato products that will take an HDMI signal and send it via USB into a computer. So there's lots of options for you there. And you can use you can use like a DSLR if it's a modern one and it has video recording and an HDMI out. But then you would get an audio source because there's a camera or there's a microphone embedded in the camera, and that information is getting sent over the USB as well as the video information. But because this is just the webcam, we're going to need to add an audio source separately. So I'm going to go ahead and add the microphone that I'm actually talking into right now, which is not a great microphone, as you can probably tell, but it gets the job done. It's a Blue Snowball, just a USB microphone. As I say, it's not of the highest quality, but you can get lots of simple USB microphones that are of a much higher audio quality and use those if you don't want to have too complicated of a setup. If you're having multiple microphones and multiple audio sources and things, I really recommend getting a audio interface. This is, again, what I use at work. I use this one specifically, but there's lots of other different ones you can get. Scarlett are probably the most popular ones out there, and you can individually control the audio sources. You can turn it on and off with the hardware as well as with the software. But we're just going to go ahead for starters and add our USB microphone. So that's going to be an audio input. Blue snowball. Now you definitely want to click mute in headphones, just so that you don't get any terrible feedback. If you're actually using headphones like to listen to the broadcast and monitor it, then that's okay. You can leave that box unchecked. But if you're just starting out and you're playing it through the speakers on your computer, if your speakers are on, you'll get some horrible feedback. So it's always best to have that checked just to be safe. And you can always turn it off later. So now we've got the microphone here. It's picking up our audio. So if you go into the audio mixer, then you can do things like turn it down and turn it up. And this won't affect what you're hearing because this is the broadcast. It's not the screen recording. But you can turn it down, turn it up. You can mute it. You can solo it. And then here's where there's a lot of different things that you can do. In here, you can change the gain, so you can make it super loud. If it's a quiet microphone, it's not picking up a lot. You can change what you're hearing in the headphones. So remember, we muted it earlier, so it's down low, but I could turn that up if I wanted. And delay is the big one because it's very important that you synchronize your audio with your video, because sometimes the different cable standards that are sending the audio and the video won't be synced up perfectly. So it's important to have those synchronized. So you can change the delay and bring the audio back or forward if you need to make sure it matches up with the video. So now that we have our sources in order, and there's lots of other different sources, let's go in and let's add an image to the background. So right now my camera is the base layer, but we're going to make this the base layer by cutting to it, and then we're going to put the camera as an overlay over top. So this is like a very basic stream setup that you might have, and it wouldn't be an image, it would be like a video or a screen recording of some kind. But just to give you that idea of how you could have like a face cam in the corner and have the main content taking up most of the screen on your stream. So now that we've got that, we can go ahead and get our stream started. So this is the settings panel for where you're streaming. And you can go ahead and pick your destinations. It might be Twitch, it might be Facebook, it might be Periscope on Twitter. We're just going to go ahead and use YouTube because it's the simplest one, at least in my opinion. But you would probably want to use Facebook or Twitch. You might want to use YouTube. It's all depends on what exactly you're streaming and why you're streaming it. But it's going to ask you for a stream key. So if you go into YouTube's live streaming platform and you want to make a new stream, just call it test stream for now, and don't put in any age requirements. And it'll present you with a little panel, and you'll get a stream key. So it's hidden right now, but you can look at it. You can go ahead, copy it, and then go back into your stream and paste it into the stream key box here. And now you've got that. And so now the streaming software knows where it's going to send the video output. So if I hit start all or start one, it doesn't really matter, because you can stream to multiple different sources with this particular software. A lot of other softwares offer that as well. But now we are streaming to that YouTube dashboard that we built earlier. So it's going to take a little bit of time because it's not instant. It's going to be somewhere between 20 and 40 seconds behind, depending on a lot of things, mostly your internet connection. But it will eventually pick up there. And this is what would go out if we were to go up here and hit the Go Live button. This is what people would be seeing right now. So we are effectively, I'm not going to go live because there's nothing here, but this is the live stream, and you can manage your stream health here. You can see if you're dropping any frames, which is really important to check out. And this is really helpful. This is why I like YouTube, is because it'll show you exactly what problems you're having and suggest some courses of action on how to fix them. But that's pretty much it. We are now live. We've got multiple sources. We've got audio. And we're ready to roll. So thank you so much for watching this tutorial, and I'll see you around.